Talk to an artist right now that does a lot of traveling and does a live performances himself. I guarantee none of them are lip synced.
I guarantee that too.
So I will find out where he's at and what he's doing right now by getting him on the line. Ghostwriter, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, you sound really clear, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So the artist we're talking to is Steve Schechter, who goes by the name Ghostwriter. He's been around a long time. His new album is called The Antique Tractor Pull and Last Hayride. It's a double CD, which contains originals on one disc and his versions of some beloved rockabilly hits on the second disc, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And we spent last night playing all your music, and just love your style, love what you do, and I wonder, man, did you pick songs that are really close to your heart, or are those your favorite, like, rockabilly artists, or how did that happen?
Okay, so that's cool you asked me about that one. It came together, yeah, some of those, like Train Kept a Rollin', the Johnny Burnett version, amazing to me. Yeah. I really like Johnny Fair's Bertha Lou. I really like Billy Lee Riley, the Got Your Water Boilin', but all these guys, I mean, I'm kind of a fanatic of that genre and that time period, the 50s kind of wild stuff.
Yeah.
So I pared it down. Like, I could have put way more songs on than I think anybody wants me to hear cover. But it came about, I'll tell you the little quick backstory. During all of the shutdown and stuff, and people were doing Zoom and all that kind of thing and not playing shows, I didn't really get in on any of that, but for me, just to kind of fight depression, I would just play covers around the house. And so even though a lot of those songs are close to me, I hadn't really worked on versions of them. Going way back, late 90s, I actually played in like a rockabilly band called The Standards here in Austin. And we have an album, Between the Ditches. It's now online. So it's kind of like, I was part of the resurgence at one time or another. But hadn't really played that stuff as far as like recording it. And anyway, I just got into the habit of playing the songs in the house so much that I thought, when I do the next thing or sometime I'll put an EP out of like these covers, maybe just online. And so it worked out to do it on the double, because it kind of balances the other part. The Antique Tractor Pull is all kind of nostalgic or reminiscent. And I don't think it's like super dark, but it's a little bit serious at times.
Yeah.
And so the other side is more fun, let's say.
Well, when we're done with this interview, I'm actually going to give a copy that you so graciously donated. We're going to give a copy away to one of the lucky listeners that would like a copy of your new album. So thank you for donating that.
Awesome.
Yeah, CD 1 has 8 tracks, and the second track, the second CD with your rockabilly covers has 5. All of them are great choices, that's for sure. Can I ask you, I know it's on End of the West Records. How many copies were made of the CD?
Oh, that's funny. There's only 100 at a time. I've printed 100, and I've actually sold quite a few, so it'll get reprinted here shortly. But I do really small runs. And, yeah, there's no vinyl on this one. But it's funny you bring up the tracks, because everybody that knows this industry, like, I could have easily fit this on one CD, but they're separate online, and I just really love like packaging and physical products, and I thought it'd be cool to make that double sleeve and make it like, make you get up and switch it out of the player and have the whole experience.
I was going to say, you bring the entire experience, because this is like a trifold, like it folds out into this one big picture, which is really cool. It's got these old farm equipment, implements and stuff, and some hay, and a really neat picture. I love the actual physical image on the CDs. You can tell that you put time and thought into every single detail, which is so old school and so great. Because
what I love that about releasing music. I really dislike about online releases that it's so little that comes with it. Give me some pictures and some information. But yeah, all those photos, as far as the nostalgic side and the whole title of it, those photos actually were taken by my dad, who, I grew up in Central Oregon there, and he lives still south of Dufur. It's an area called Friend, and those pictures are from what was called the Dufur Threshing Bee, which is this event that would take place at the little town near where I grew up every year. And they had an antique tractor pull, and this is silly. I won't try to keep my responses brief to these things, but I was, that title to me there was some kind of metaphor about just obsolete efforts and just kind of spinning your wheels and a lot of the art we create anyway.
Yeah.
And so I had that, and there's a line in one of the songs about an antique tractor pull, and so I had that as the title, and I thought, man, I bet my dad had some photos, and so I got those from these old slides that he had, and so yeah, I'm really happy to have used them, and I'm happy thank you for commenting on it, because I was real happy about the way it came out.
Yeah, that's really a neat story. Thanks for enlightening us on. I did not know that, man. That's so cool. Now there's a story behind it. Whenever I listen to my Ghostwriter antique tractor pull album, I'll know the story, and kind of it feels more like something that means more. It's great.
Yeah, cover photos by my dad. It does mean something to me.
How's your dad doing, man?
He's good. He's like he's a 75-year-old guy living in rural Oregon, and he's about as good as it gets, I guess.
Now, Steve, are you in Texas?
I am. I live in Austin. I moved here in '96, and then I moved back to Oregon for a few years, and I think that's when I met you, when I was living actually in Portland. My wife and I lived in Oregon again from 2007 to 2014. And we lived in the Dalles for half that time, and Portland the other half.
Awesome.
The Dalles is the closest kind of city to where I grew up. I grew up about 30 miles south of there, and that's where my dad and my family lives.
Yeah, my daughter, one of my daughters, resides up in southeast Portland, so I'm up there not quite a bit, but enough, I'd like to know, man, you've been traveling for how many years have you been traveling and performing as Ghostwriter?
This is the 20th. In October of this year, it'll be 20 years as Ghostwriter. And yeah, I've I haven't been out the whole time. I mean, there's been times where I had to take, a year away from the road. I haven't been out recently, unfortunately, but yeah, pretty much been fortunate enough to tour quite a bit through that time. And, I counted it up lately. I think I've toured across the U.S. over 40 times.
Wow.
For what it's worth.
Wow.
I've been to all states except for Florida, Connecticut, Maine, and Vermont.
So do you think you'll ever hit those states?
Yeah. I mean, I want to.
He should do a tour with just those 4 states.
I know, right? I'm saving them. You got to save something.
Call it the Get 'em Done tour or something. I don't know. Finish the list tour.
Yeah.
That's funny. With all your experiences and travels, have you ever considered or have you written a book?
Yes, thank you for asking. I had a book that just came out on a small press called Gobpile.
Wow.
And the book is called No One at the Circus, and it's under my name by Steve Schechter. You can go to Gobpile. I think it's like a Gobpile Big Cartel store and pick it up, but it's also on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. On my own website, theendofthewest.com, where you can get the albums and stuff, there's a link to it there. But it's actually primarily lyrics. Gobpile is a guy I knew named Bram Riddlebarger, or I still know, that's a longtime musician as well. And he started this press recently, and he focuses on a lot of poetry and stuff. And so he actually approached me about a lyric book. And in the process, I got to turn it into a bit of a, not like a full biography memoir, but there is the story intertwined in there, starting at the beginning of the solo project of Ghostwriter in about 2002 and going up until I think it was 2021 when I was writing it. So touching on all of the ups and downs throughout.
Yeah, No One at the Circus. What an interesting title. And you can get that by, if you're interested, endofwest.com for a link, or check out Gobpile online, Amazon. That's very cool. So it intertwines lyrics with some of your biographical stuff.
Yeah.
Since you're not on the road now, do you have anything in mind, like when you will be on the road next, where you're going or how that's going to work?
Yeah, I'm hoping to piece some things together this fall, but I've said that last year too, so it's one of those things. But, in Austin, I have some local stuff coming, and hopefully I might just be piecing together some regional things for the next little bit.
Yeah.
Getting over to, Louisiana and that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome, man.
I was trying to piece stuff together a year ago, and it was, I hate to say it, but it was there was still a lot of clubs that were like, well, we're not really doing live music yet. And it just wasn't enough to support the whole loop.
Yeah. I can imagine.
I'm watching kind of where people are going, and hoping I can make something jive.
It's like you really have to go.
It's always tough. I've always been fortunate to break even. I'm not really in a position where I want to go out and just bleed money,
Yeah, you have to go with the flow in this world today. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or where or what, so.
Right.
It's got to be an art form in itself, trying to figure out where you can perform,
Yeah, a lot of guys are flying into places and doing a handful of dates in one area and flying out. I've seen a lot of that. I just hate to fly, and I love to drive. And, the expenses of all that, and not, my opinions aside about the way I like to roll, getting a plane ticket, renting a vehicle, renting equipment, like you got to be getting some pretty good guarantees to make that work. So,
yeah.
But like you say, you got to kind of roll with the punches in this world. If it takes flying and getting a promoter to rent me some gear, maybe that'll be the way to go for a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you have such tenacity, and I certainly admire your music, and I've got quite a few of your records courtesy of you, because my original Ghostwriter collection burned in the stupid Alameda fires, but you were so kind enough to replace some of that stuff for me, man, and I really do appreciate it a lot.
Oh, of course, man. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the new record. I want to play something from that and give the audience a chance to get a copy of it, courtesy of you. You donated an extra copy. Of course, it's the Antique Tractor Pull and Last Hayride. You're listening to an interview with Ghostwriter, a.k.a. Steve Schechter, and he even autographed my copy. That's so awesome. I'm a geek. I collect autograph stuff, man. So that made my day. But we're going to play a tune that I really like, and I've listened to it about 3 times last night, the whole album. And I thought, I want to play the song called Low on Fuel. Do you have any thoughts or words to say about that song?
Oh, no, that's cool, man. That's a great choice. That's the title track, even though it's not called Low on Fuel, but that line about an antique tractor pull is in it. And I feel like that song kind of encompasses the mood of the first disc very well.
I do too, man, and I liked how it was recorded and some of the different sounds and stuff, and it just kind of stuck on me. So yeah, I thought I'd play Low on Fuel. Once we hang up, I'm going to let the audience, anyone can call from anywhere, even if you're in, Scotland, whatever, because we have a lot of international listeners. Feel free to call us. Whoever calls the first caller through, I guess we'll do. Or should we do make it harder? I don't know. Number 1's probably cool. The number is 541-531-5587, and if anyone wants to grab a pen, 541-531-55. Wait, that's not the number. I'm sorry. Let's start over. Ghostwriter, sorry, man.
You're good.
Let me try another number. Here's the legit number to reach us and win this CD. 541-482-3999. That way I gave people more time there, Steve. So yeah, 541-482-3999. I really appreciate your time, brother. Is there anything you'd like to close with?
Just thank you for having me, and it's great to talk to you guys again. And yeah.
It always is a pleasure, man. And please consider the door open anytime you want to promote anything you got going on, or if you're in the area playing. But we're happy to play Low on Fuel by Ghostwriter. And once again, many thanks for being here, and we appreciate you, man.
Thank you.